जी आफत मेरे गले पड़ी, डिमांडें आती बड़ी बड़ी, पी जाती है खड़ी खड़ी, क्यों मांगे चोरी लाल परी।
श्योर बढ़ी दारू की मुझे तोड़ चढ़ी, पी जाऊंगी खड़ी खड़ी, मंगवा दो कोई मुझे लाल परी। लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी, मंगवा दो मुझको लाल परी। लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी, मंगवा दो मुझको लाल परी। वन थिंग I'm for sure बढ़ी दारू की मुझे तोड़ चढ़ी, पी जाऊंगी खड़ी खड़ी, मंगवा दो कोई मुझे लाल परी। मेरा गंजा बोतल खोलेगा, कोई न बीच में बोलेगा, चाहे मुझको गाल पड़ी, मंगवा दो फिर भी लाल परी।
दिल जावे मेरा पिघल पिघल पिघल, जद कर दी तू विगल विगल विगल, पी जावा तेनू ढीक ला के, जिवें माल्ट तू सिंगल सिंगल सिंगल, जे तू माल्ट है सिंगल सिंगल सिंगल, फिर मैं भी हां सिंगल सिंगल सिंगल, करा तेनू गोद बिठा के, गुद गुदिया टिगल टिगल टिगल। Let me tingle tingle please, जद मैनू कर दी प्लीज, सीने विच मचदी चीज, I'm from Punjab police। Freeze, put your hands up and freeze, put your hands up and freeze, put your hands up and freeze, I'm from Punjab police।
One thing I'm for sure बढ़ी दारू की मुझे तोड़ चढ़ी, पी जाऊंगी खड़ी खड़ी, मंगवा दो कोई मुझे लाल परी। लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी लाल परी, मंगवा दो मुझको लाल परी।
Bombay to Birmingham, New Delhi city, shout out baby। मैं तेरा कलब तेरा, move it like a snake, drama मैं सपेरा, मैं किच तेरे कोका जड़ा था, तेनू बॉम्बे पर मिलन घुमादा, पैगी क्यों करा के नहीं आजा, 24 कैरेट दी चंजा गवादा, अंबा दे बाहर, मंजे ते बैठा चैट नवा, चैट ते फ्रेंच वाइन पिलो, घर के कटे पे लादा शराब, अंबा दे बाहर, अंबा दे बाहर, मंजे ते बैठा।
Hey, one thing I'm for sure बढ़ी दारू की मुझे तोड़ चढ़ी, पी जाऊंगी खड़ी खड़ी, मंगवा दो कोई मुझे लाल परी। One thing I'm for sure बढ़ी दारू की मुझे तोड़ चढ़ी, पी जाऊंगी खड़ी खड़ी, मंगवा दो कोई मुझे लाल परी। मेरा गंजा बोतल खोलेगा, कोई न बीच में बोलेगा, चाहे मुझको गाल पड़ी, मंगवा दो फिर भी लाल परी।
June 6, 1944, northern France. The world was still dark when the rumble began. A low, endless growl from the west, like thunder rolling across the sea. In a chateau near Saint-Lô, a German general stood bent over a map, cigarette trembling between his fingers. His staff whispered around him, radios crackling with fragmented English voices. Ships, thousands of them, approaching Normandy. At first he thought it was another exercise, another Allied bluff. But the sound didn't fade. It deepened. A roar of engines, waves, and gunfire that seemed to tear through the walls themselves. Outside, the horizon burned. The Atlantic Wall, the impregnable shield of Hitler's Europe, was being swallowed by smoke and fire. The general stared down at the map. Colored pins marking every beach, every gun emplacement, every assumption Germany had made about its enemies. One by one, those assumptions were dying. He reached for the map again, gripping it in both hands. And as another report screamed through the radio, he tore it apart. Because now, he finally understood. The invasion had come, and it was real. By the spring of 1944, Nazi Germany still looked unbreakable from the outside. From the Arctic Circle to the shores of the Mediterranean, the Third Reich stretched across the heart of Europe. France, Poland, the Low Countries, Denmark, and Norway were under German control. Italy was crumbling under Allied assault. But the Western European mainland remained Hitler's fortress. To the German High Command, the English Channel was both moat and mirror, the final frontier between Hitler's empire and the last unconquered bastion of the West. Every eye turned toward it. Every plan, every defense, every expectation hinged on the belief that if the Allies came, they could be stopped there, and for that, there was the Atlantic Wall, an immense system of bunkers, artillery positions, minefields, and concrete fortifications stretching nearly 2,600 kilometers from Norway to the French-Spanish border. Hitler had promised it would be unassailable. Propaganda films showed proud engineers pouring concrete into the cliffs of Normandy and Pas-de-Calais. Posters proclaimed, "Europe will be defended on the beaches." But beneath the cement and slogans, cracks were forming, not in the concrete but in the strategy. The mirage of strength. The Atlantic Wall, for all its grand design, was a patchwork. Some sectors were formidable, bristling with artillery and reinforced bunkers. Others were little more than hastily dug trenches guarded by aging troops and foreign conscripts. Supplies were short, manpower stretched thin, and the Luftwaffe, once the terror of Europe's skies, was now a shadow of its former self, drained by years of attrition on the Eastern Front. Even the generals knew it. Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt, the commander-in-chief West, viewed the wall as a political illusion. "The wall," he remarked privately, "is a propaganda term for something that does not exist in reality." But Hitler clung to the myth and forced his commanders to do the same. A war of waiting. By late 1943, Germany knew an invasion was inevitable. The question was where. To the Germans, the most logical point was Pas-de-Calais, the shortest distance across the Channel, directly opposite Dover. The Allies knew that too, and decided to use it. In London, British intelligence, under the guidance of the brilliant deception planners of Operation Bodyguard, built an entire Phantom Army, 1st U.S. Army Group, FUSAG, complete with inflatable tanks, fake radio traffic, and even a commanding general, the charismatic George S. Patton, the man the Germans most feared. Through a labyrinth of double agents and false reports, the Allies convinced the Germans that Calais was the true target and that Normandy was merely a diversion. The deception, Titans' intercepted communications, reinforced the illusion. German intelligence, the Abwehr, dutifully fed Hitler and the OKW, Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, with confirmed information of Allied buildup opposite Calais. Operation Fortitude South, the sub-deception, worked flawlessly. Even in the final days before D-Day, German reconnaissance flights reported activity in southeastern England. Mock airfields, false landing craft, even entire columns of troops in wooden painted, and utterly convincing from above. The deception was so complete that when the real invasion began hundreds of miles away in Normandy, Hitler refused to believe it. He insisted that it was a feint,